Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I have been so good with my email lately, but had fallen behind once again. So please forgive me. I'm trying to catch up. Some of your email this week was very interesting, and some very intelligent commentary and issues for debate were raised in this week and last week's email. I really have some of the brightest subscribers in all of YouTube world. So where shall we start today? One of the email I received from a subscriber and regular viewer put me on the track of looking into schizoaffective disorder. Now, schizoaffective disorder is a mental health disorder that is marked by a combination of schizophrenia symptoms such as hallucinations or delusions and mood disorder symptoms such as depression and mania. The difference between schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder is the prominence of the mood disorder. With schizoaffective disorder, the mood disorder is front and center. With schizophrenia, it is not an important or integral or dominant part of the actual disorder. Another difference is that with schizophrenia, people have a hard time telling the difference between reality and fiction. They may see or hear things that aren't really there, but to them, of course, it is very real. With schizoaffective disorder, people instead feel detached from reality. And although they may see and hear things which are not really there, it's mostly things that affect their mood. As a matter of fact, two common types of schizoaffective disorder are bipolar and depressive disorders. In the case of schizophrenia, doctors have found that the shape of the brain could be different or other anomalies may occur, which is visible on a brain scan. In schizoaffective disorder, causes can, however, range from a combination of factors which could include stressful life events, childhood trauma, brain chemistry, etc. Stressful life events can include such things as abuse or neglect, experiencing a traumatic loss, being lonely or isolated, and other things like money problems, homelessness, etc. The thing is that it is more likely that these incidents will occur when a person experienced a traumatic event when he or she was still too young to know how to cope with the event and had not been cared for in a way that helped him or her to develop coping skills. Childhood trauma can include experiences like sexual or physical abuse, neglect, traumatic events, or losing someone close to you, like a parent. When it comes to the brain chemistry, dopamine and dopamine levels in the brain play a significant role. Antipsychotics could, however, perhaps lower the dopamine levels in the brain. Something interesting I found is that smoking can also help with the effects of schizoaffective disorder, as nicotine also lowers the dopamine levels. Although people with schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder are mostly not violent, there is an association between these disorders and violence. Basically, because they are not always morally aware during episodes. However, sudden episodes of impulsive behavior, angry verbal outbursts, and reacting out of proportion for the situation will definitely occur. The condition usually manifests itself in the late teens or in adulthood or early adulthood, normally not later than the mid 30s. So, okay, guys, let's apply this to Harry. He suffered childhood trauma when his mother died. He likely did not receive treatment to help him cope with the loss at the time. Although he obviously received the physical care he needed, clothes, food, a roof over his head, it is also possible that he suffered from emotional neglect. His father, after all, had his duties, events, and functions to attend and had a relationship with Camilla, someone else he had to make time for. Since meeting Megan, Harry stopped smoking. He also became far more isolated, and for the first time in his life, he even had to actually concern himself with his own finances. So, not only does Harry tick all the boxes of the causes of schizoaffective disorder, but let's look at his behavior. We have seen and heard of Harry's explosive episodes, attacking a photographer, losing his temper in public, etc. And even Cressida Bonus told of Harry yelling at her or throwing hissy fits. We heard of his obsession with paparazzi and how he saw them lurking behind trees where no one else could see them. And that was indeed prior to meeting Megan. Since meeting her, his condition obviously worsened. We could see it because, like I said, he stopped smoking and became isolated from his friends and family. Now we see him lying without blinking, like in the Oprah interview. We see him with obvious delusions, such as protecting the Queen and saving the world. The good news is that the prognosis and treatment for schizoaffective disorder is a positive one, and with the correct medication and, very importantly, the correct dosage of medication and a measure of treatment from a qualified psychiatrist, someone with schizoaffective disorder can live a perfectly normal and productive life. However, their nearest and dearest also need to be taught how to deal with them and not to trigger them. So, what to do with Henry? I don't know, but what is glaringly obvious is that he is not currently getting the correct treatment, and I predict that if this behavior from him is to continue unchecked, it could end in tragedy. The suicide rate in schizoaffective disorders sufferers is plus minus 12%, and 34% of sufferers reported suicide attempts. But, as described, they can also land themselves in all kinds of other trouble, like losing their job, etc. So let's hope that at some point Henry will be properly assessed. And I'm no doctor, but recent events have certainly proven to me that he has not been properly assessed or treated, and neither has his wife. So together they may head for the perfect storm. Now, my dear friends, how this will play out, I don't know, but I think many of us had predicted that this cannot continue forever. So, what the fallout will be, we don't know. We will just have to wait and see. Okay, my dears, I have a couple of other things that I have prepared for you, but I will talk about that on another video. So, until we meet again, take good care of yourself. Bye.